All right, we are back with another edition of Sundays with Serby, and we've got a good one this week for the Mets fans because this week, first Q&A, Steve sat down with Mets shortstop Francisco Lindor. Now we're going to talk to the great New York Post sports columnist. That would be the one and only Steve Serby, who joins me now. Steve, how's it going, man?
Good, Dex. How about you?
I am doing well. Now, I really enjoyed this Q&A with Francisco Lindor. Not that I don't enjoy all your Q&As, because I do. But, Steve, when it comes to talking about Lindor, we know this with New York athletes. There's always a pressure when a star is traded to New York, signs a big contract. And that pressure existed for Francisco Lindor, but he doesn't appear to be scared or fazed by the New York pressure. How has he handled it in his time with the Mets?
Well, I don't think he was ever scared by New York, but he got off to a rocky start, and Mets fans expect brilliance from high-ticket stars who come over from wherever. So when he was hitting 180, he heard about it from Mets fans, but he has come to understand and recognize that here in New York, if you give Mets fans something to cheer about, they'll cheer you long and loud. And he is looking much more like the player that Steve Cohen expected for his $341 million bucks. And he's no longer frustrated. He is Mr. Smile again. And he's a guy that wants everybody to like him. And now I think New York genuinely likes him.
Oh, no doubt about that. He has had the smile. He's heard the cheers, playing good baseball thus far this season. And when you talk about Lindor, you got to look at the fact that he's already played in a World Series. He lost back in 2016 with Cleveland. How much does winning a title with the Mets fuel him? And what does he want his legacy to be with the Amazins?
Well, he still hasn't gotten over losing the 2016 World Series Game 7 to the Cubs. It affects him to this day. It drives him to this day. As a matter of fact, when I asked him, fill in the blank, you're Mr. Smile on the outside, what are you on the inside? And he said, Mr. Driven. So he's driven to finish the job. He couldn't bring a championship to the fans in Cleveland. And he envisions a parade in New York, smiles and hugs and celebration, where everyone around him is Mr. Smile. And his legacy, he wants to be a winner. He wants to be remembered as a winner. He's got 9 years left in his contract. He hopes to play till 45 as Tom Brady did. But of course, there's no guarantee of that. And maybe he'll manage someday. He's keeping that door open. But he is driven. He is Mr. Driven to bring a championship to the New York Mets. And Dex, I want to ask you something.
Okay.
When you're not Mr. Smile, what would you say you are? I'm trying to figure out a word for you. Mr. What? What do you think you would be?
I would say when I'm not Mr. Smile, I'm Mr. Cool under pressure. There's not that much that phases me. Not much that's going to throw me off balance. That's what I would say. I'm pretty even keel. Don't get too high, don't get too low. But always
what would I be?
What would you be?
That's enough about you, Dex. How about me?
How about you?
What would I be?
I have to say you are Mr. GOAT Q&A. That's who you are all the time. You exist. This is why people should come and watch Sundays with Serby, because you're getting GOAT level Q&As that we see on nypost.com. You know this.
I'm glad I asked that question. I love that answer.
Well, if you didn't like that answer, I would be concerned. I'm glad that you do like that answer.
Well, thank you. Coming from you, it means a lot.
I appreciate that. And you always toss me a good question that I have no idea that's coming, but that was a good question. What am I when I'm not Mr. Smile? I didn't even know you thought of me as Mr. Smile. So that's good. I thought that was all Francisco Lindor.
I think most of your viewers think of you as Mr. Smile, Mr. Efficient, Mr. Class, all those things. Me, I'm more Mr. Unpredictable.
You know what? That's a really good description for Steve Serby. Mr. Unpredictable, but what you can predict is you'll see a Q&A from him every week at nypost.com. This week's one, Francisco Lindor, is a really good one. You should check it out, especially if you're a Mets fan. It's a really great one. The great Steve Serby, New York Post sports columnist. Steve, as always, thank you for your time and being great and unpredictable.
Thank you, Mr. Cool Under Pressure.
Thanks, man.